Okay, so we're going to go over these first two problems. On the actual test of the 14 problems, the first four, Adi, Cooper, Kaden. I'm going over prom. Okay. So, ready for a pencil?
No, I was trying to see if my calculator was there.
Alright, for these first two problems, we are dividing, we are adding the first four problems of your actual test. It's 14 problems total. The first four are adding functions, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. So, if I'm trying to divide f over g, I'm having x squared minus 4 over x minus 2. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is say, okay, what are my restrictions? X minus 2 cannot equal 0. Right? Because I can't divide by 0. If the bottom of my fraction equals 0, that's a no-no. Add 2 to both sides. I know that x cannot equal 2. But here's the deal. You always have to think, can I simplify what I've written? Can I simplify x squared minus 4 over x minus 2? Yeah, what's x minus 4 factored? X minus 2, x plus 2, and I'm dividing by x minus 2. What happens?
X plus 2.
So the answer is just going to be x plus 2, where x cannot equal 2.
And that is exactly what I got. And that is exactly what I got, Indy.
What?
I thought it can't be negative 2 because
X minus 2 can't equal 0. So you add 2 to both sides, then x can't equal 2.
But if you simplify it, don't you do the x that is simplified?
No. The answer is the simplified, right? I already crossed out the thing that's on top and bottom. But the restriction depends on the factor that was on the bottom. Because you don't want to divide by 0. So the factor on bottom is what would cause you to divide by 0.
I win.
You didn't even say you can't know.
Did I?
Okay, we are focusing. We're focusing. We're focusing. Okay. So let's do the multiplication. Let's see what f times g of x would be. All this means is we're taking f of x and we're multiplying by g of x. And I just told you guys you're going to have to do all four of these. You're going to have to do all four of these on your actual test. Okay, you're going to have to do all four of these on your actual test. Did you guys do this already? Yes, because I told you to do this when I was trying to find the extra practice test. Okay, so if I take x squared minus 4 times x minus 2, so I'll distribute the x first, and then I'll go through with the negative 2. So x times x squared is x cubed minus 4x minus 2x squared plus 8. I don't, and this won't connect to the printer unless I'm literally have the Ethernet.
I have one, but I started it yesterday.
Just get a new piece of paper out and you just work along with us.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Don't distract him. Okay. So, Jordan's face forward.
I am.
Okay. Caitlin, please get out your paper. All right, so if we're trying to multiply f times g of x, and you should write it in standard form, meaning highest exponent to smallest. So x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x plus 8. You will have to do all four operations on your test. The test is 14 questions. I'm literally telling you what the first four are. Okay, 5 topics of Alex, due Friday. Yes, we don't have school Friday, but guess what? 8 a.m. Friday, that's when it always is due, so we're good. You need to have your calculator. It needs to be charged because you can use a calculator the whole test. But what this means is you must show work. You must show your work. I'm tired of saying you must show your work. So I'm going to say it one more time. You must show your work on your test because I'm letting you have a calculator. And if you don't show work, you don't get points. Cool. Glad we're in agreement. We're halfway through the third quarter. We should know by now. Make sure your calculator is charged for Thursday. Also, Thursday, you have extended time. You're going to come in at lunch, and then it'll just go through a period. Cool. I'm trying to make it so the tests are like short enough. You have enough time to like really think and not be like stressed, because I know anxiety is a big thing for some of us. Well, I told you 14 questions total. How many questions are on the practice test? 21. So that would be less than. That'd be shorter. There's also some multiple choice questions. Yeah, so you show your work. Even if you pick the wrong letter, you can get partial credit. But hopefully this will steer you towards getting the right answer. It's a way of trying to help you out. All right.
What kind of multiple choice question?
Like A, B, C, D.
Yeah, but like.
You know the one.
Yeah, okay, no, I know.
Okay, let's do f plus g of x.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Can we not just do that?
No.
Are there any bonuses?
There's one bonus.
Is it, what is it? What's the question?
This is a math question. It's a math one.
Oh.
Like
So.
1, 2, 3.
If it's long
No.
division, I swear to God, I'm gonna lose it.
It's gonna be long. Oh, yeah. It's long
God.
division.
F plus g of x. What
It's 'cause
this
she knows
is
I can't do that,
f of
that's
x.
why she did it.
That's 100% not y. Okay.
Are we on number 2 yet?
We are.
She just confirmed that it is long division.
So, on your actual test, you have to do all 4 operations. So on the practice test day, we're going to do all 4 operations, even though the practice test did not have you do that. You don't have to erase, it's fine.
No, but I don't like
Okay. So we did the dividing. This was the multiplying. We're going to do the adding, and guess what? We'll do the subtraction down here. We're doing all 4 operations. Cool. So if I add them together, I have x squared minus 4 plus x minus 2. You only can combine like terms. So I have x squared plus x minus 4 minus 2 is going to be negative 6. And this is it. That's all you would write for the answer. We're not simplifying. We're not factoring. That's good. That's good. All right, let's do the subtraction. Let's do the subtraction. So this is just subtracting g of x from f of x. X squared minus 4 minus x minus 2. So what I recommend doing is distributing the negative out. So we have x squared minus 4 minus x plus 2. X squared minus x minus 2. That's it. Notice there are no restrictions except for the dividing one. Only when you're dividing do you have to state restrictions. Only when you're dividing. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Food.
Felix. Okay. Let's
But that got
let's not be
stuck in the
yep. Let's not be distracting or distracted. So calculator okay the whole time, but you need to have your calculator. It needs to be charged. Now I'm telling you this Tuesday. That's plenty of time to charge your calculator. I'm trying to be kind by reminding you. Huh?
I don't think I have a charger.
The charger over here.
Okay.
All right, graph. State the domain and range. This is a problem. This is literally like number 5 on your test. I'm telling you what the problems I'm asking you are. This is like number 5 of your test. So I need to graph it. What are my original parent function points?
Wow.
Okay, what are my original parent function points, Jesse?
0, 1, 4, 9.
0, 1, 4, and 9. Because if I take this square root, these are perfect squares. Square root of 0,
0, 1, 2.
0, 1, 2, and 3. These are always the points we're going to start with square root.
I forgot these last time.
Okay, now that we've done this first part, I'm going to give you like 15 seconds. Try to finish the rest.
Finish the one on the board?
Yes, the one we're going over right now.
I don't know how to do these ones.
Okay, so we're going over it together.
Okay,
I'm just plugging in my computer. Okay, here we go. Let's go. So, what is this doing right here? What's the plus 4 doing?
Minus.
What is it doing?
Left by 4.
Wait.
Since it's a plus 4 inside the root, it's moving left by 4. So here's the deal. Imagine you do all of your math wrong, but you circle and say left by 4. That shows me you understand that.
So
You literally will get some partial
point
credit.
for saying left by 4?
I gotta see how many points I made it out of, but yes.
Okay.
This is
I'll remember that.
like literally things I write in class. I'm modeling how I would like you to do it. Who's talking? Who's talking?
Not me.
Now, if you're gonna have snacks in class, it can't be a distraction.
That's not my fault.
What?
Felix, okay, you gotta rein it in.
Got you.
Okay, all right. The goal for the rest of class, you have 29 minutes. We're not gonna touch anyone.
I swear
We're
to
not
God, I
going
won't.
to like distract. Okay. Okay, we're gonna focus here. So, If you're gonna have snacks, you can't be messy, and you can't have it be a distraction. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to cut snacks. I don't want to cut snacks for you. I don't want to, but if it's a distraction, I will.
Okay.
I am here to make sure you learn the stuff. Okay, left by 4. Left is which way? Horizontal or vertical? X or Y? X. Left by 4. I'm going to be subtracting 4 from all my X's.
Oh.
How did you get your X's and your Y's?
How did I get my X and Y's? Jesse, you're the one that told me it.
The X is the parent function. 0, 1, 4, not. It's the numbers you start with, and then you
It's
take
always
the
0,
square
1,
root.
4, 9.
Yeah, and then
For
you
a
take the
square
square
root.
root of them, and 4 and 9 are perfect square roots. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's
Yep.
cool.
I tried on the test.
Wait, what? It
I
happened.
tried on the test. So like, I tried using the original parent function. I had that
Yep. Yep.
No.
Okay, so let's go with our Y. What is this 2 doing?
Multiplying the Y by 2.
Right? Multiply Y by 2, because it's going to be stretching. So I go through, multiply all my Y's by 2.
Wait, so was that literally how you do all of them? You just
0,
subtract or add
2,
X?
4, 6. Well, notice we just multiplied our Y.
Yeah, I literally.
Imagine. Pick up what you threw.
What?
Pick up what you threw. Okay. Okay. Give you 3 seconds. 2. We're focusing. Okay, you gotta face the board. Face the board. Don't talk to each other. Okay. So imagine that I was shifting my Y values up or down.
She's touching me now.
Dude, don't put what? Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm so focused.
So cool. So I've reached my limit for today. If you're gonna be distracting, I'm kicking you out from now on. Regardless, you go talk to another person, you throw AirPods, I don't know, you high five, goodbye. I'm gonna send you to the dean. I'm over it. I want to make sure people are getting their money's worth. Studying for the test, I want you to do well. I'm not gonna let hooligans distract from the other people who are actually focusing, okay? So imagine that I was adding something. If I was like adding 2 at the end, then I would have to go through and add 2 to all my Y's. But here I don't have a vertical translation. I'm not shifting up or down. Yes.
So anything under the radical is being
Horizontal.
set to X.
Yep.
And then everything outside of the
Is Y.
radical is Y.
Yep.
So
All right,
even
so
if
let's-
it's only plus 4, minus 6, like all that stuff, it would still all go to the Y.
Yep, only if it's under the radical is X. So I have -4, 0, -3, comma 2, yeah? 2x plus 4? The square root of 2x plus 4? Instead of 2,
No,
yes.
2x divided by 4.
So, if, oh, you mean like 1/2 times the square root of.
No, he's saying under the radical. So it'd be like rad x plus 4.
That would be the same as multiplying it by 1/2.
So like this.
it would be the same as what you just had.
Like this thing?
Yeah, but that over 2.
No, he's saying.
X, the square root of X plus
This?
4 divided by 2. Yeah.
What are you talking
Yes,
about?
that.
So this is all under radical.
Yeah.
No,
Would you divide by 2?
Would you divide the y by 2? Yes.
Only the x plus 4.
No. Radical.
So only, so it's,
Yeah.
the 2 is under the radical or no?
Yes.
So it's under the radical as well, so it's like this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, everyone stop talking except Jacob. Don't try to clarify his question if it's not your question. Jacob.
you had it before.
So it's literally square root and then divide by 2.
Right.
The 2 is not under the radical.
Right.
So this is the same thing as saying 1/2 times the root x plus 4. So you'd multiply by half, all your y's by half. Yeah, divide by 2, multiply by half. So you take all your y's, multiply by half, or divide them by 2 first. Okay,
I'm sorry. Oh, and then.
What's wrong?
Has a follow-up question. I don't want to answer. I don't want to ask it.
What?
What if the 2 is in the radical?
So like 2x plus 4, right? Square root this.
And then like divide by 2. Like inside. The same way.
What? So like this.
Yeah.
Every single factor is divisible by 2.
Okay.
So you divide it all by 2.
I didn't know that class was
2, 2,
What if not
2.
everything was divisible by 2? What if it was x plus 4?
All over.
All over 2.
But
Never
like,
mind.
If it's like, yeah. Okay. I'll try to answer your question, then I'll go Jordan, then Adi. Okay, so what are you trying? Is it a bathroom question?
No.
No. Okay, is yours? No. Okay, then Jesse, what's your question?
Like, what if not everything is divisible by 2?
Like x plus 4 over 2 square root?
Sure, or like x plus 3, or like.
So here's the dealio. Algebra 2 will give you a coefficient from your x. I'm not going to give you a coefficient from your x on the test.
Oh, so we're not going to get that.
Literally, how I did it on your quiz, your practice quiz, the practice test. Like, that's how you do it on the test. So literally, I could give you a number in front of the square root. I'll have x plus or minus a number and then plus or minus a number here. Because that's the easiest way I can do it. Horizontal translation, vertical translation. I could have like a negative here, it would flip it. I could have a number here that would multiply it. That's it. I'm not going to put a number in here. I'm not trying to make it super difficult. Like, I want it to be as straightforward as possible. Sure. All right, Jordan, you have a question?
You kind of answered it for answering Jesse. Wait, okay. Are you gonna like put it like that for the test? Like to, yeah, right?
I just answered how I was going to do it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Fine.
So I could put a number in front of the radical. I could put a number, square root of x plus or minus a number, and then at the end, plus or minus a number. That just corresponds to flipping or stretching, horizontal or vertical translation.
Okay.
So it's a thing I just erased, right? This thing. I could say, oh, let's have negative root x plus 2 minus 1. Oh, that's left 2, down 1, and flipped. That's your question?
That's different. Yeah.
Then
'cause
what's
there's a negative one outside. Is that the same thing as the
like
one
3?
on top?
it's not that complicated, Jordan.
I'm so confused.
So this one right here would be right to the 1, up by 2, and multiplied by 3, or y is multiplied by 3. So those are the 3 places I can put numbers, because those are the translations we've worked heavily with.
Alright, what's the third translation?
What? This is horizontal,
Everything outside of the
this is
bracket
vertical,
y.
this is stretching in front.
Vertical.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the domain and range. Whew, we only have 20 minutes left.
No, I get what he's asking.
Okay. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, do you question?
Do you want us to graph the parent function or no? Or just do whatever is given?
I don't believe I say graph the parent function. Some of your homework wants you to graph both, but I'm not going to have you do it here. The one in black, the black points, that's from the parent function. Okay, domain is the x. What is my domain? One person raise your hand. What's done? What's my domain? -4.
Oh, good job.
Just my x is only one value. X is
Greater than or equal to.
-4 because all my x values are greater than -4. What about my range? Y is greater than or equal to 0, right? Bigger than 0 or equal to 0. That's it.
Wait, you got the -4 because you switch.
Oh, because it's up
flip it,
and
right?
to the plus
What's
side.
inside?
So, right. Well, you can also see this is my smallest x value is -4, right? All the other values are to the right of it. They're all greater than -4.
Oh.
So all my x are greater than, they're bigger than -4. Yeah, but more or less it deals with this guy. Okay, so there's one question like this where you have to graph, you have to state the domain and range. What I'm looking for is this. This is how you can show work. You're literally showing me the translation. Graph. Ah, here's another one. Let's try it.
If you put that exactly to the calculator, will it?
Oh, it will show you. That's how you can double check.
Head is covered.
So,
It's the thing.
what?
Never mind, you know, okay.
The head is covered.
It's
Oh,
no, nothing. It's from a different class.
Okay. We're starting with the parent points.
What are you saying, bro?
no matter what, you always start with this one.
Yep, for square root. So let's have, what is this +1 doing? Left by 1. So I'm going to subtract 1 to all my x's. so I have, let me put it in a different spot. So I have -1, 0, 3, and 8. So I'm just trying to make it as simple for myself as possible, right? That way I have the exact points written somewhere. Okay, what is this -1 doing?
Subtracting.
Down by 1, and then what is this -2 doing? The -2, it flips it over and multiplies by 2. So, what should we do to the y first? Should we multiply or should we be subtracting first? Well, imagine you are an x value. I put you in, right? You hit the square root, and then you have to hit the multiplication before you do the subtraction. Order of operations. You have to multiply by the -2 before you can subtract 1. You have to multiply the square root by -2 before you subtract 1. So to multiply by -2, and then subtract 1. Multiply by -2, and then subtract 1. Multiply, and then you do the subtraction. So this is going to be -1, -3, -5, and -7. Because you have to multiply before you subtract. So you can go ahead, graph this. Oops, -1, -1. 0, -3. 3, -5. And 8, -7. So notice I have an endpoint, right? I don't go past an x value of -1. I don't go to the left. Yep. So x-axis, we're looking left and right. What's the furthest left I can go? -1. Look at your graph. We went to -1. I don't have any x values left of -1. All my x values are to the right of -1. Jordan, Jacob. Okay. Yes. Because I have no x values left of -1. What is my y? So the highest x value I have is -1. All of my y are less than or equal to -1.
Was greater than or equal to -1.
Y is less than or equal to -1. Because all of my y values are smaller than -1. They're below.
It's below.
Okay. Okay. So we want to state the equation of the function graph below.
This is finding the domain in the range.
Well, no, we're stating the function. I want to say f of x is equal to something. This is a square root function. Next period is g.
Slope intercept form.
No, because this is not a line. This is a square root. Notice it is flipped. So we know it's going to be a negative root, but we are shifting to the right.
Oh, so it's
So I know it's got to be something like x minus 2.
2.
Am I stretching it at all?
No.
No.
It's just a negative.
So literally it's going to be negative root x minus 2. The negative in front flips it. The minus 2 inside moves it to the right by
I don't
2.
know if it's stretched.
Your first point should be over 1, up, down 1. Because normally it's so up here.
Oh, whoa. It doesn't
Yeah.
start on the x-axis.
Nope. So you take your end. If you go over 1, down 1, over 1, up 1, it's not vertically stretched. Notice the problem we just did. This was stretched by a factor of 2, right? 2 in front.
Oh,
So if you go over 1, down 2. No, you're looking how. Okay.
Oh, if you
So-
go over one, I got you.
You look at your x. Look at the blue. I'm sorry. Look at the black. You see how you go from x when x goes from 0 to 1, y goes from 0 to 1, right? It's a change of 1. So if you always look at your first point, you can see by how much you're stretching. Yeah. Since I'm not stretching, it's a difference of 1. What? I only have to look at the first point.
I got
If this was over 1, down 2, I know I'd have a stretch of 2. Correct. That was a horizontal translation, but I'm talking about the stretch of the graph. So you look at your first point and then you go over one. If it goes down one, there's no stretch. Goes down two, it's a stretch of two. If it goes down by like three, that's a stretch of three. That's how you can tell. Clearly, I'm not gonna put a problem like this on your test.
Wait, you're not gonna put this on the test?
Maybe, we'll see. It could be on your final. Okay. Alright, let's go and let's simplify this.
Oh.
Okay. Do you guys try this already? Alright, so I have the cube root of 64 over the cube root of 27. This should be a nice easy problem. It's just going to be 4 over 3.
Yeah.
Cube root of 64 is 4, cube root of 27 is 3.
I
Yo, I got that correct.
wait. That's how you did it. That's light. How you do that?
Question?
Can I do 7 on the board?
No, I'm screencasting as people are gone. So, 2 root 50 plus root 45 minus root 18. So we have to write it as prime factorization.
10, 5. So 5 root 2. But, yeah. I mean 2 root 5, I mean.
So root 50 is
4 root 5.
root 25 times 2, root 2.
4, yeah,
So 5 root 2.
I mean 5.
So this is 2 times 5 root 2. So there's a problem just like this on your test.
So 10?
What?
10 root 2
For what?
for 2 times 5 root 2?
Yes. I'm just going across first and trying to figure out what.
Put the brackets for
3 root.
Well, I put parentheses because I don't want you to think it's like 25. So you know you have to multiply 2 and 5.
Parentheses or you have to put
Oh, you put parentheses, it's fine.
Oh.
Okay, 45 is 9 times 5.
Yes, sir. And then
So that's 3 root 5. So this is plus 3 root 5. And lastly, 18,
3 root 2.
3 root 2. So this is just going to be 13. No, wait. So root
Wait, how
2,
do you do this if it's
root
10
2, root 5. So this is 7, root 2 plus 3 root 5. You only can combine
That's the whole
like
thing?
terms. You only can combine like terms.
Hey, that's what I got.
That's
good.
what I got.
It's good. Yeah. It's fine. Try number 8 if you haven't already. Try the
I'm
next
gonna
one.
get 100 on this test if I show my work.
Yep, that's the goal.
If
I would like everyone to get 100.
Yeah.
That would be fine with me.
Hey, so you wanna
Okay, number 8. Try number 8. Try
How
number
much
8.
work do I need to show for you to give me credit? All of
Well, I demonstrate every day in class how much to show.
it? So much, though.
You're still working?
Yeah.
Okay.
You show like every step.
Simplify number 8. Do number 8. Yep. Are you done with number 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just foil, right?
Yes.
Damn, he's too good at math.
Yeah.
Maybe we should both get that
Good one.
I'm guessing C for A.
What's wrong?
When you multiply like 2 times root 5,
It's just 2 times root 5.
so it's 2 root 5 now?
Yeah.
No, okay.
2 times root 5 is 2 root 5. So for instance, if you just circled A, no work, not giving you the point. You have to show your work. Yep, it's A.
So like, I can't circle A and then like not show work.
Right, because that's just a lucky guess. I'm not going to let you just have lucky points.
Why?
She gives us
There's
other-
points
other
associated with
options.
showing work.
I could get it
If
right.
you don't have justification, then it's a no.
Okay.
Wait, can you stay there for a second?
Yes. If you're done with 8, try number 9.
I like doing one better shot. Well,
made the test shorter so it's easier to show work because you have the time to actually write out the steps. Do you have questions over this one? Right. Your questions? Yeah.
With what?
5 plus 2 is 7. 7 for 3.
Are there gonna be multiple choice ones on the test?
Yep. Gotta show your work. For people taking the test Thursday, there'll be multiple choice sections. I'm making a new version for people who are taking it next week instead. Because they're gone Thursday or whatever. There's like 4 or 5 people. So, yeah, it's gonna be a long time. Are you here Thursday? Then you're taking it Thursday? Okay. Extended time, people. When are you taking your extra time? Shh.
Thursday during lunch.
Thursday during lunch. You're showing up. You have extra time. You don't show up during lunch. You forfeit your extra time.
But it's like you're literally getting extended period plus lunch.
Well, you're getting the exact amount. So the test is like 45 minutes. So plus 50% is going to be plus what, 22.5. So 67.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to time people and make sure they have only the amount of time that they're allowed. Cool. All right, number 10. This is literally, what?
I was gonna see the last line.
Number 10. This is really the only one where you don't have to show work because it's literally converting between radical and exponential.
Top dog always in the house.
So 5 to the 1/7 is going to be the 7th root of 5. So literally this is the only one where it's like, oh, there's actually like no work to show. Like you don't have to necessarily write this. This is the only one that's going to be like that. See?
If you ain't the top dog, you ain't in the hours.
Number 11. How do I simplify this?
You multiply, so you add.
Good. So I have m to the 3/5.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 5th root of m cubed. I literally wrote it like that for you. That's so nice. I don't think I do that for you on the test. I think I write it in the the radical form.
So when it has common denominators, all you have to do is
Just add across, yeah. Number 12. Number 12. Try it out. Try it out. Do it on your paper. If I walk around, I should see everyone doing this on your paper. Number 12. What? I'm screencasting because people are gone. So I need it to be on here.
Yeah, it is the
How many more problems? Oh, we have so many to do. Okay. Really want to go over these before we're done. Okay, let's go over this. This is definitely giving you a problem harder than this on your actual test.
It works. 7.
Cool. So, right. So if you don't have to check your work because I literally gave you the answer. My bad. But if this was just the plain problem with not multiple choice, you'd have to show your work. Okay. I want to go down to these other problems. Number 15, A and B. The 14, if 2 to the 8th times y is 2 to the 5th, you divide both sides by 2 to the 8th. So you have 2 to the 5th over 2 to the 8th. That's just 2 to the 5 minus 8. So that's 2 to the negative 3.
Simplify that more to,
Well, I mean, it depends if I give you the answer or not.
then simplify more to
1 over 2 to the 3rd, so it's technically 1 to the 8.
How many multiple choice are there?
Couple? Some? I don't know. 3, 8, 9. I don't know, like 4 maybe? I forget. There's a handful. So I'd like to do these because this is where a tricky trip comes into play. So I give you some problems just like this. So you write it out. Full solutions to this have been online for a while.
Oh, maybe.
Yes. So this is 9. This guy's just going to be x squared, and this is just going to be y.
Do you want to see the square root of 81 of that shown?
Like you could do this, that's fine. You could go straight to this, and that's fine. But that's, I mean, you're assuming I'm going to put an easy problem like this on the actual test. Not one that's going to require you to show more work. This next one, I'm going to write this as the cube root of negative 125. And then times, okay, then I have a to the 6th power to the 1/3 times b to the 7 to the 1/3. This is more like what I'll put on the test. Cube root of negative 125, negative 5. Huh? Not plus or minus. Because if you take plus 5 times itself 3 times, it's positive 125. A to the 6 to the 1/3 is going to be a squared. How many times can 3 go into 7? Twice. And how much left over?
1.
So it's literally going to be, right, b to the 7/3. That's just b to the 2 1/3. So if you split it up, you have b squared and b to the 1/3. So putting it all together, negative 5, a squared, b squared, and then the cube root of b. This is a great problem. This is a great problem. Because you have a little left over. And we worked on this for like 2 days. This is a problem like number 16 on your test. This is just rules of exponents. So simplify the bottom first. All right, you have x to the 2/3 plus 1/2. Ooh, adding fractions. How do you do that?
Alright, so you're basically gonna want to get a common denominator.
What's our common denominator, Felix?
Yo, stop, bro. 6. Well, you already did that because he said it.
Okay. And then the top. Okay, so now if I rewrite it, I have x to the 8/5 over x to the 7/6. What do I do here?
Divide.
Subtract them. Common denominator is 30. 48 minus 35. Was it 13? Something like that, 13/30ths. X to the 13/30ths. How would you write this? 30th root of x to the 13. Either one of these I would accept as correct. I would give you a nicer problem that would work out better than 13/30ths. Maybe something like 2/3, right? But you can expect a question like this, but it'll work better. Okay, and then we pretty much, I mean, the solutions for the rest of them are online. If you have more questions, you can come to me, bonus. Cool, Math Center is open. Make sure you have your homework completed. Extra time comes in Thursday. Good luck to done tomorrow.
So Brian,
Eat.